Hi, I'm Dr. Ruchi Dubey Chaturvedi, an industrial psychologist and an associate professor teaching in a college in Mumbai. Today I'm going to discuss two very common, very interesting concepts with you. One is dealing with conflicts and the other is dealing with interpersonal relationships. Things which you keep hearing around you and things which we are totally surrounded by it basically. Now when you talk about a simple term called conflicts, what does it mean? Conflicts can arise between two individuals, between two departments, between two groups of people, between people at different hierarchical levels in an organization, between two different organizations, between countries, whatever. Ultimately, what you are trying to imply is the fact that one party suddenly wakes up to the fact that the other party is either already affecting certain things about them in a negative manner, or it is about to do something adverse to them. Now, with this realization, the conflict situation has already started happening. Genesis has happened. Now, a lot of researchers from all over the world have really tried to understand and study this concept called conflicts. Earlier understanding was what we call as a traditional viewpoint. Traditional viewpoint said all conflicts are bad, abort them, they are detrimental, don't have them at all. After the belief happened in this direction, the adversity of this was understood years later. They realized the fact that too much of harmony builds in lethargy, complacency, a concept called groupthink. What one says, all follow, which is not advisable. It's not good because people stop hunting for better solutions, alternatives and options. So we moved on to a theoretical viewpoint which we called as an interactionist viewpoint. Then we moved on to another viewpoint which was resolution focused. It all implied and said that little bit of conflicts here and there is necessary, but try to keep it functional. Conflicts dealing with tasks which people perform, job roles, process of delivering a particular product, etc., all come under the category of functional conflicts. Keep them at moderate level. Anything which is dealing with relationship issues can lead to dysfunctional outcomes. So those type of conflicts, keep them at lowest possible level. Now we have to really understand this concept of conflict, and people think that what has happened today, slowly it's going to affect them tomorrow in a very adverse, very negative manner. Now conflict does not arise overnight and snowball into anything so big just overnight. It never ever happens. Conflict moves across, I must say, 5 stages. 5. The first stage is what is called as potential opposition stage. Due to the diversity which we encounter around us nowadays, thanks to urbanization, globalization, mobility of people from one part of the world to the other, we have varieties of culture, people coming from different religion, all interacting with each other, and add to that the technological advances. So chances of issues becoming into a conflict are very high, which you call as the potential opposition stage. But it's a dormant stage. The second stage is what you call as a cognition and a personalization stage. Till people don't start mentally thinking about it, personally do not get involved in it, mentally again, they are still at a dormant passive stage. After a person has thought enough about it, the person starts hunting for what should he do now. This is the stage 3, which is the stage of intentions. It has got 2 dimensions. What is the level of cooperation which he should do in such a setting with the other party? And what is the level of assertiveness which he should exhibit? So intentions involve 2 dimensions. One is the dimension on cooperation, other is assertiveness. Again, no problem. It's still a dominant and a passive stage. But when a person has thought a lot about a prospective conflict arising situation, he's thought of what should be his intention. Then comes the action oriented stage 4, which you call as a behavior stage. Now the moment one party enacts a certain behavior, for sure the other receiving party will also show their own set of reactions and behavior. Then slowly we are slipping down to the stage 5, which is the stage of outcomes. Now outcomes could be functional, outcomes could be dysfunctional for both the parties or one party. Important thing to remember here as human beings is what kind of negotiation are you doing with the other party. One kind of negotiation is what we call as distributive bargaining. It's like a fixed pie. I'm trying to grab a larger portion with the result that the other party is going to get something smaller, obviously. So it's a win and lose situation. It's never recommended in conflict arising situations and as a resolution strategy. What we want to target in this setting is the use of integrative bargaining. Integrative bargaining involves a win-win situation where both the parties negotiate, bargain in such a manner that both emerge from the situation as winners. Both feel good. Now this is ideal for long-term relationships, mutual trust, respect and cooperation to build up. Now integrative bargaining will not happen overnight. You have to practice for it. There are certain factors which need to be incorporated in the system. You have to maybe get more resources, change the structural component of your organization, change individuals. You might get a third party to intervene in the situation. You might suddenly create something which we call as superordinate goals. Create goals in such a manner that both the parties have to cooperate to deliver and to reach their goods, the final output. Or you might even employ what they call as devil's advocate. One person who thrashes both the parties, forces them to open up and communicate with each other. He might be very rude and aggressive also with both the parties. But ideal is this kind of a setup which results in integrative bargaining and both the parties go back feeling happier about themselves and other too. Now whenever we are having any such situation around us, and we will have with the type of diversity which we have, important thing to remember is individual differences will exist. They do exist. Individual differences are the core of psychology, my subject. You need to respect individual differences. Do a very simple game with your team members. Now your team members could be your family members, could be your community members, could be your colleagues, anyone. It's a team. Suppose there are 9 people in the team. Give 9 sets of chits to all the 9 people. And you have to write your name and all the other 8 members' names on the chit. Simple. Now what you do is think about yourself. Think about that one role which you feel you play in a team and which you feel the other 8 members play in a team. You could be a linker. You are able to integrate things better. Mr. B could be an assessor. Mr. C could be an organizer. Someone could be a good promoter. Someone could be a good maintainer. where he keeps cohesiveness within the team and fights external battles. Someone might play any other role. Someone might be a very good assessor in terms of the fact, even when the teams are functioning beautifully, he stops. He says, wait, let's think of some more alternatives. So what do you do now? You write the role, one role which you feel you and the other 8 play in a team. Keep it to yourself. Then, after everyone has written on their chits, 9 chits, you give the chit to the person whose name is written on that chit. So now all 9 of you will be having 9 chits each. Open up and read what you have written for yourself and what others have written for you. And slowly this process, when you're brainstorming, when you're thinking what role Mr. C is playing, what is D's contribution in a team, you slowly realize that individuals differ, yeah, and everyone is playing some crucial, whether major or minor, role in a team. And that role is important for the team. And why the person is playing that role is because that person has certain strengths to play that role. Forget about the weaknesses. Okay? Now come down to the fact that when you're opening the chits, suppose you feel you are a very good organizer and you get at least 6 to 7 people who have also given you the same chit which says you're a good organizer. Marvelous. Simply marvelous. Where the way you see yourself, others are also seeing you. Chances of misconceptions, misunderstandings, interpersonal problems will be lesser. I'm not saying absent, lesser. Take the converse situation. You feel you're a good promoter. Whatever ideas have been floated by your team, you're able to promote and sell those ideas. Ensure that others abide by it. You feel you're a good promoter. Not a single person of your team gives you a chit which says you're a promoter. What's happening here? The way you see yourself, others are not seeing you. But you're still a team player. You're an important team member. So I would recommend that it's time you visited the Johari's window. You'll get enough material about it on the internet. Read it. It's a very, very simple concept where there are 2 dimensions along which 4 quadrants have been created. One dimension is known to self. The other dimension is known to others. One quadrant says known self, open self, things which you excuse me, things which you know about yourself, the known self, things which you know about yourself and which others also know about you. Yeah, it's good. Enlarge this area. Keep it large. Why do you want to keep it large? Is because it's built on mutual trust. Everyone knows you because you're open about your ideas, feelings, thoughts, emotions. Related thing is your hidden area, which you don't want others to see. You know about yourself. It's known to you. It's not known to others. Ideal is keep your hidden area small. Enlarge your open area. Come to the other 2 quadrants. One is a blind spot. Blind spot is an area where you are blind to that particular part of yourself. So it's not known to you, but it's known to others. Is it good? No, it's not good. Things which you don't know about yourself, but others know about you. 4th quadrant says unknown part of yourself. You don't know about yourself, others also don't know about you. So the Johari windows would recommend that you enlarge your open self. Reduce your blind spots, your hidden areas. Why? Because the moment you come across as an open person, who's ready to share, you will create interpersonal relationships which will be based on trust, mutual trust, cooperation, respect. How do you go about doing it? It's easily said than done, isn't it? Now, how do you go about it? You give the me time to yourself. Self-introspect, carry out self-awareness drive, and sometimes for this you require feedback from others. Take it objectively. Don't be too emotional about it. So the moment you are able to understand yourself more and more, your open area is enlarging. Your unknown self, blind spot, hidden area, everything is becoming smaller and smaller. So you are emerging as a trustworthy individual in interpersonal relationships. Isn't that so? A very beautiful book. I recommend you to read it. The title of the book is I'm Okay, You Are Okay. Very beautiful concepts are derived. When a human baby is small, toddler, infant, he's dependent on people around him. He can't do anything himself. So his idea of the world is, I am not okay, you are okay. Now same toddler becomes an adolescent. Concept changes. Concept now is, I am okay, you are not okay. Now as people grow and wisdom comes their way, experience, wisdom, maturity, and they become adults, the concept is, I am okay, you are also okay. Now looking at the complex world in which we stay in, we are struggling to cope up with the advances, the changes which are happening, so much of mobility, so much of dynamism which is around us. Things are unpredictable, things are uncontrollable. So concept should be, I am not always okay, you are not always okay, but that's okay. Isn't that so? The moment you start accepting individual differences, respect them, accept them, start enhancing your own self-awareness. Okay? You are heading towards what we call as personal growth. Two important life skills come here, which you must make an attempt to enhance. One is the life skill called self-awareness. Understand yourself better, take feedback from others, grow as an individual. The other is empathy. Empathy is not similar to sympathy. Empathy involves trying to understand the ideas, perspectives, emotions, thoughts of the other person. So if you are able to build on self-awareness and empathy, you are definitely going to become a better human being, better individual, better colleague, better family member, better parent, better child. And the moment you start spreading this kind of positivity, what do you think is the response from others? Is it not going to be positive? It is going to be positive. So ultimately, we start at an individual level, experience personal growth, become better human beings. We start making a society better, our nation better, and globally, we'll all become a better race, better generation. So important thing to remember is, conflicts are going to be there around us. Try to resolve them in an integrative framework of mind. Don't try to win from each situation, because you have to build on healthy, long-lasting interpersonal relationships. If you want to live in a happy, healthy world, we all have to experience ultimately mental peace. Our mental peace will spill on to our emotional health as well as our physical health. Isn't that so? Thank you so much for hearing me out. Bye.